going southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
Never remember it being cold.
Wait on us again, would you?
Never remember it being that cold, this consistency.
Hi, guys. This is Tony and Tristan with the One Hell of a Life podcast. I'm so excited to have you on here today listening to us.
What that guy used to say on The Simpsons? I'm geekily.
Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
No,
Please.
hey,
Oh, God, please.
dude, we need to have that on the podcast.
Anyway, I'm recording, by the way, so I got all
right.
that. So that was all good stuff. but anyway, back to what you were saying.
Hey,
I'm gonna
get this thing started right now.
No,
Yes.
listen.
Did you already do your little intro
Do
thing?
it.
No, we're just rolling.
No, let's do it.
No, we're rolling, jackass.
This needs to be the intro.
This is the intro. We're just
All right,
rolling.
this intro. Hey, folks, this is the intro to the show.
Yeah, quit interrupting me and quit interrupting Cade, and let's get back to this whole thing about it
That's
being
the
cold.
best intro you've ever had.
I'm gonna whoop both your asses with a belt, or one of them damn paddles that my kindergarten teacher used to whoop my ass with.
Quit talking, damn.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Good Lord. All right, so Cade was saying it's the most consistent cold he's ever remembered, and I wanted to get into that. So continue, Cade.
Hello and welcome to Hee Haw. Oh,
How
it's
cold
very
is it,
cold.
Kade Weatherford?
It's very cold. It's that
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah, you were saying that. And I was literally just talking to my grandparents about. I don't remember. Like, I watched the weather in the where we're from, and obviously out there in Cache, and I don't remember. I mean, any time since we left the Midwest, which was like 12 years ago or something, it ever being this consistently cold since I was like a young kid. And it's funny you say that, so it must be something to it.
Well, and to build on what you're saying, Tristan, the coldest that I can ever remember in my double your age life is when do you remember when you were little and me and Lideker took you to sled down Pasley's Hill?
Yeah.
And we would sled all the way down the hill and then slide all the way across the lake.
Yeah.
That was 40-something foot deep. We would slide.
It was fun as shit.
You would go down a hill that was a quarter of a mile long, probably, that was terraced to keep it from erosion. And you would like hit 3 ramps on the way down, and then you would hit the bottom and just slide all the way across the lake, And that I remember 30 days in a row in Illinois, it was below 32 degrees high.
Wow.
Over 30 days. And that's the only reason why I felt comfortable taking my kid out on a 40, 50 foot deep lake.
I thought you were about to say, man, it was so cold we slid downhill, and then we got to the bottom, we could slide back up. That's how.
Yes.
That'd be something.
That would be something, man. Oh my goodness, man. No, it's cold as shit. And Kate was telling me the other night that he bought this new toolbox and he had to put together inside of his living room because it was too cold to work in the garage.
I did. I had the fireplace just rolling.
Dude, all I can gather of this 4-minute podcast so far is that I just miss being in a duck blind with you two idiots. It's been too long.
Too cold. It is too cold to go duck hunting.
Yeah.
Why can people not get that across their mind? The ducks don't even like it. Ducks don't even. They don't even. It's so cold. The ducks are like, nope, we're done. I don't know where they're at.
Mississippi River, baby.
I bet if you built a fire out here in one of the middle of these dry fields, I'd come to it.
Are you listening, Hunter Johnson? Cade's giving you a tip, bro.
It'd be like beating homeless people away from a fire.
You need to have a high school bonfire cake party on at every duck pit.
Yeah.
That's what's going to keep the ice from forming.
Just throw out a big put light a big bonfire, throw some mittens out there, some earmuffs, and get ready.
Yeah. Forget a decoy. That's all you need.
Oh my goodness. So what the heck else has been going to you, man? It's been a little bit since we caught up with you and got on the podcast and stuff. So, Tristan and I obviously haven't been able to get out there too much just because our job situations and our new career changes. And I know that you've been out there dealing with what everybody's been dealing with in Northeast Arkansas, and that is just low numbers, and kind of talk about, Kade, what's been the journey so far, duck season at Delta Thunder.
So let's go back to December.
Mm-hmm.
So December 10th, second split, or 9th, whatever it was, 9th, 10th, 11th, somewhere. Second split started. We shot that opener, that second split, shot okay. We killed, I think we killed 23 on the opener of that second split. And just from there on out, it just kind of went downhill. It just, it's hard to explain. There were birds, there were less birds that first week, but there were still a good number around of birds, to hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And we even, the ducks just would not. I mean, you go out there, have your decoys out, your mojos, everything, and they just act like they did not acknowledge your existence. That was about it. They just wouldn't acknowledge your existence. And then, I don't know, like it seemed like there was just a slimmer amount of ducks. So we started we started hunting some people, spec hunting some people, and the specs didn't really want to cooperate. The snow geese did, they did it really well. We killed several snow geese, and that was about that. I mean, we shot some snow geese there for a little while and everything, and then the duck hunting just kind of went. It would have its on days and its off days. It was true duck hunting is what it was. It would go from might shoot 2 this day and then 3 this day, then 1 this day. Then you'd pull out a 13 or kill 13 or 10 or something like that. And the next day you might kill a couple more or kill the same amount, and you're like, oh yeah, it's about to ramp up, and then it'd just go right back down to the bottom. You'd go back to shooting 2 or 3. And it wasn't really like it was in one consistent place. Usually when a duck pit gets hot, it's hot for a few days. You shoot 14 and then 16, and then you usually kind of climb up the ladder there. It has not been consistent at all. I got a group, and I hope he's listening to this podcast. His name's Colton Hayes. He's hunted with me for 3 years now. And with me for 3 years now. I told him the first day, I was like, look, this field is going to load up with ducks right at dark. But I don't know. And I took him out there and I showed him. And I don't remember if we saw any ducks or not. But that next morning, I put him in there and I told him, I was like, right now, you've got to hunt them. I mean, you've got to stick it out and you've got to hunt them. Mm-hmm. It might take you all day, but you just got to hunt them.
Right.
And I put them out there and they shot a 7-man.
Holy cow.
Whatever that is. Yeah. I put them out there, but they hunted to like 3:45, like an hour to shooting time, hour and a half to shooting time. Took them all day. And I'm talking about in the pouring down rain.
Damn.
And he did it. He did exactly what I told him to do. I was like, you just got to grind it out, and hunt. And it'll pay off. And it might not pay off, but he told me afterwards, he's like, dude, if we would have left at 10:30, we'd have had like 2 ducks. They had like, I had his text messages, and I think they had like 3 or 4 at 10 o'clock, 10:30. And then about 11 o'clock, he's like, we got 8 now. Like he texted me, he's like, hey, we just killed a few more. We got 8. And then by noon, he was like, yeah, we're getting on them good. And then I went out there to watch them for a little bit, and I pulled up, and they were loading their stuff up in the truck. And I was like, what y'all doing? I'm like, the ducks are out there. He's like, we're done. We're limited. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. So that just goes. The weird thing about it is they're that group that does that every year.
Yep.
I can call and say, hey, there's nothing. Don't worry about coming. There's nothing. Nope, we're coming. We're going to come hunting. We don't care. And I put them out there just somewhere. I mean, you could set them in the ditch beside the field, and they'll end up killing a bunch of ducks. I don't know how it works that way, but it does. And I moved them around. So I had a group, just to show you how much this blind. So we were hunting in this. I was hunting my group in a blind, and I was hunting my group in a blind that we got, and I told them, I was like, hey, I got a group that's gonna be here for 5 more days, and Colton's real cool, so I was like, hey, I got this group that's leaving tomorrow. I think it was your buddy that came down here.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Brian.
Yeah. But anyway, so I was like, yeah, it might have been him. I don't remember. But so I told Colton, I'm like, hey, so y'all had a pretty good hunt out there yesterday? He's like, yeah. I was like, I want y'all to go hunt that blind that I was in today. I was like, we killed some ducks in it. I was like, I'm going to move y'all to that blind that we were in, and I want them to shoot out, So, I mean, usually, like I said a minute ago, when a pit gets hot, it gets hot.
Yeah. I
sent them out there to the pit that they killed a 7-man in the day before. And they grinded it out. Like, that group was leaving that day. I think they hunted to, like, noon or 1, something like that, and they killed, like, 2 ducks.
Mm. And
then one of my guides that was guiding them, he's like, no, I'm going to stick it out here. I'm going to see what happens. So he just stayed, he brought them in. He kept hunting, didn't kill another bird. Same pit the day before, they killed a 7-man in. And then, that happens, they shoot 2. Well, in the meantime, while they do that, the blind that I moved them from, they killed like 15 in.
Yeah, I love it.
I was like, are you serious? It didn't matter where I put them. It just didn't matter. They literally sat somewhere different. I think they went back to I think they were here for 5 days. I put them back in that pit that they shot the 7-man in on their. They shot the 7-man on the first day. Then they shot like 15.
In the outdoors, every detail counts. See sharper, aim clearer. From the river's edge to the heart of the flooded timber, Hook and Bullet has your vision covered. Hook and Bullet's purpose-built optics are flawlessly crafted to give you an edge regardless of your outdoor pursuit. Use code ZeroDuck30 for 15% off a pair of Hook and Bullet sunglasses today.
Third day they shot like 9 or 10 or something like that, and it just wasn't very good. All around, I mean, everybody was shooting. They shot more than anybody I'd heard that day. But they shoot 9 or 10 back in that pit. They shoot the 7-man in the day after that. And then on their 4th day, I take them hunting in one of my little, holes off to the side that I got, one of my little fields that I got.
One of those holes that you pimp.
Yeah, just for a rainy day. It's where I take my clients that don't piss me off.
Yeah.
So,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
If you're a client,
you better listen up.
Or a future client, you just gotta listen.
That's right. You better learn how to play the game, client.
It's not like
He giggled.
It's not like I got a pit sitting off to the side that's just loaded with damn ducks.
Yeah, you
though.
do,
It
you
ain't
lying
nothing like
ass.
that. Yeah, sure. I wish I did. Because
No.
the next time that we hit the accelerator on them ducks, the next time that we hit it to the floor on them ducks, I'm not letting off one bit. We're gonna blow the motor up. Yeah.
Oh man.
Now, Kade, shifting gears here for a second. You had a TikTok that blew up a couple months ago. I'd like you to just have the floor right now and just talk about the passion, the true passion for hunting public GTRs. I want you to talk about that and how you made that video explode.
What do you want to know about it?
I want to know about your passion. I want to know about your passion behind hunting green timber on public land.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Here we go. He's ramping up, folks. Get ready.
You should totally spend all of your money on a $25,000 boat to get up at midnight, to wait, to get in line, to hopefully get a spot, to wait another 4 hours, to hopefully maybe shoot a few ducks. You should totally do that.
And the best part about doing that is doing that in Arkansas when there's no water, right? Isn't that the best part?
So I made this TikTok at a place that I deer hunt at. It's got it rolls off into the river bottoms and back. And there's a bunch of Tupelo timber, just, big tall cypress trees, and you can see forever, out in it, and there's no water in it. And you hear all these guys on duck guides and leases, on whatever it's on, whatever. Man, I want to hunt green timber. I've lived here my whole life, and I don't know what in the hell green timber is. I've hunted duck timber, but I've heard a bunch of people, man, that green timber. What in the hell? I don't, to this day, still don't know what green timber is. It's winter time, I mean, like, honestly, I truly don't. I wish somebody could explain to me what green timber is. Like not joking, like serious as I'll get out. And that would be my first question. What is green timber? Number two, my second question is why does it matter what kind of vegetation that you're hunting around? If they're flying through trees, they're flying through trees.
That's a great point. Yeah. That's actually a very great point. We don't hunt deer that way, do we? No, we don't.
Like, you don't hear nobody go, man, I just want to kill one. I'm tired of shooting them out here on this food plot. I want to shoot one in the woods.
Yeah, I want to shoot one in the green timber. I want to shoot.
Honestly, to me, and this is just, I guess it's because I've duck hunted my whole life and everything.
That's a good point.
It does not, if one walks, I'm driving down the road right now, and if a flock of ducks walked across the road, I'd run every damn one of them over. I mean, I'll get them wherever I can take them. In the fields, in the woods, on the highway, it don't matter. Why does it matter?
You're right.
I don't, like, I get it, people liking to hunt timber because they come through the trees and they come straight down and all that, whatever. But like, I don't understand why it's such a huge deal, like
it's a huge deal to
Tony, if you called me and told me to come to Georgia, you got a 150-inch deer.
Yep.
You got a 150-inch buck. It's a big buck, but it's a size that is commonly killed. And there's people that kill 150-inch deer in every state across the whole United States that have white-tailed deer.
Yeah.
Now, if I told you, if you said I got a 150-inch deer that's coming out every day, I want to come shoot you. Come down here and come shoot it. Do you think I'd be was he coming to a food plot or is he going to
Yeah, that's a good point.
No, it's a great point. I'm picking up what you're putting down, dude. It is a great point. The other thing,
I
Kate,
understand the scenery thing. I understand that, but why? Like, if you're going to go shoot 2 mallards if you're going to do all that damn work, get up at midnight, to camp out, to get in line, to do this, to do that, to wait, to hopefully shoot a duck, to hopefully the damn llama gang won't set up downwind for
The llama gang.
llama gang. Hopefully they don't set up down there and shoot at your swing birds at 85 yards. Like, why? Like, me, like my duck pits, I leave my house at 5:15, 5:30, right in there. Get out there, all my stuff set up. Like, if I was going to go out of state and I was going to spend all this money going duck hunting, like my hunts, and this is not a marketing strategy that I'm trying to say here. You spend for 2 days, you're spending $480. All right, a person. It's $200 a day, and then $40 a night for lodging. It's $240, so you're looking at $480, right? Pulling a boat from wherever and doing all that, you're paying that much to wake up. You're not no rush, nothing like that, you know.
You're getting a ride out to a duck blind where you're getting go and sit. I mean,
there's so
it's
much,
easy.
There's so
it's too
much.
easy.
I'm trying to think of it all.
It's too easy.
And you're gonna get a variety of, like, I get people like shooting mallards. I've never been that way. I just never have been that way. I've never been I'm just gonna shoot that drake. Never been that way. I got buddies of mine that are. They just want to shoot mallard drakes. That's it.
Yeah.
And but I don't know, man. I guess I think different. Just call me crazy, but I like consistency, and I like success.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit but here's my thing. If we went out there duck hunting tomorrow and we got to pick whether we were going to shoot 4 mallard drakes or 6 spoonbills, I'm shooting the 6 spoonbills. That's me.
Yeah.
That's more shooting.
No.
It's more shooting and everything. I mean, I don't know. That's me. I understand some people's point of view.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't understand why it's such a big ordeal.
Well, and one thing that I think you do a good job of is that you communicate so good with your clients, and the guides do and everything else that so many times I've seen where you've let the hunt be what it was to them. You know what I mean? And you were talking about earlier, Kade, for some reason there's these like roles that groups get on or individuals get on that you guide. And Tristan, I know that when Kade was telling that story about Colton, that you were sitting there going, dude, too many times we have seen it just from the outside looking in. Cade's calling us and telling us, goes, I don't know why this group just always smashes them. Like, he's got a group that just always smashes snow geese. Always. And it's weird how all that stuff happens. But I think that, the big thing is that, when you go and hunt, like you always said, dude, I don't care what kind of bird I shoot. I'm out here to hunt waterfowl and have a great time. Everybody's experience is different. I just said on the podcast the other day about the folks, and we've all heard the story about the pintail folks, that Kade had a group, or me and you, Tristan, when I got my first mallard, I shot my first Arkansas. To me, that was a big deal. I wanted to shoot what I knew was a truly wild mallard. You know what I mean? Come from Georgia, and I did that, and guess what? That was the whole weekend to Tristan and I to be able to do that. So everybody's hunt is different.
I remember one time 2 years, or it might have been 3 years ago. No, I think it was 2 years ago. We were hunting with, I forgot the dude's name, but it was one of your clients, Kade. It was me, my dad, and him, and we were sitting in the fish pond. And he shot a snow goose, and I shot my first.
Oh, it was Rick.
Rick, yeah.
Yep.
And I
yeah.
I shot my first spoonie that day, and that's all we killed. But I was like all over the moon about that. And that's all,
dude,
like,
we were stoked.
It was just one bird,
Stoked. And it's and Tristan, can't we relate to like on the waterfowl side about these folks like Kade, with Jeff that we talked on the podcast with, out there at Pit Boss Waterfowl, Chris Williamson down there. I mean, all these professionals that do this every day, right?
Yeah.
They're very successful at leading their clients into having great hunts. We also understand that side of it from the deer hunting side, coming from what everybody would call the land of the giants, the northwestern parts of Illinois, where and not that we ever took it for granted. We never did. But it's like Jeff was saying, it's about perspective, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It really is. It's about perspective. And I love that you let your clients, Kade, enjoy their perspective and you just kind of support whatever they got. Like when those guys told you that they shot a 6-man at pintails and they were ready to go to Waffle House, and it was like, did you say it was like 8 or 8:30? You're like, hell yeah! From a guide's perspective, you're like, let's go.
Like 7:45.
You're like, let's go.
And the next flock, they had their limit. Next flock come in there about, I don't know, like it was a pretty good size one, 30 or 40 of them. I whistled them right, and it was just one of them days where the pintails, they were just coming. They come right in. Some of them lit in the decoys. Other ones just kind of hovered. And guy looked down at me. And I was like, he's like, are we going to shoot those? I was like, no, they're pintails. We got our limit. He goes, so we can only kill one of them a piece. I said, yeah. He's like, okay. And then you heard actions all the way down the pit.
I love that, dude, because I've been there. I've totally been there.
And I was like, what are y'all doing? He's like, we got our limit. We're ready to go.
I've totally been there. And that,
all right.
But I guess that even crosses into, like how often, like Tristan, the 45-yard spike shot with your bow. That was a trophy experience to you.
Well, I think it's all perspective, and like that year, I mean, we were only hunting. The only access we had is public land, and that year was like such a frustrating year because like I had shot at one earlier in the year. We were literally setting up our tree stand and our double stand, and a doe or a spike came walking through, and I was like, shit, I got my bow, put my release on and shot, and I like hit it in the front shoulder, never found it. And then I missed another one. And then it's like the last day of the season, I ended up shooting that spike. And like, because I had missed, gone through all that shit, we're hunting public land. It was cold as hell that morning. And just, and then it's the last day you have to hunt and you shoot any kind of deer. You're like, automatically, it's like the best thing you've ever done,
Yeah.
But it's all perspective.
Yeah. And that happens with us in waterfowl hunting. I mean, no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it.
Well, it's just the problem with a lot of the public land is with waterfowl is people have lost a lot of respect for one another.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, you go on
it's happening across America.
Or whatever. You go on duck guides and leases or whatever, or tiller handles and just read all that. It's just nobody's got respect for nobody. They put something on there, it's something like I saw one the other day. Guy put on there, crossbreed or whatever, and it was a spoonbill had a white ring around right behind its bill.
Yep, I've seen that.
The drakes get that white ring, and everybody just lit his ass up about that, like. He was just asking an innocent question. Is this a crossbreed? Yes or no? It's a yes or no question.
Yep.
Not a bunch of smart ass answers. It's just, a lot of people they've lost respect for one another.
No, that's a great point. So true.
But yeah, it's gonna kill this whole industry eventually, just because where'd Tony go?
He just went to the bathroom.
I knew he went somewhere.
Did you hear the door?
No, I just thought I heard somebody get up.
Oh yeah.
I'm watching you through the window.
Yeah. You got the live stream on us. Nah, but dude, that shit's always pissed me off because I look at from a duck hunting perspective, like I didn't grow up duck hunting, like I grew up deer hunting. So to me, you know, only being into this like maybe 5-6 years, it's like there, especially at the beginning, I had a lot of like dumb questions that I guarantee you if I would have posted on, you know, Facebook duck hunters, you name it, I would have just got absolutely flamed for. And it's just like, why can't you just ask those dumb questions and somebody be cool about it, you know? So that stuff's always made me, man.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I got buddies of mine that go hunt public, and they're like, man, we rolled up in this hole, and we had our shit out, and some dude rolled up on us, and we chewed his ass. Why? It's public.
Right. Like, is that an accomplishment?
What if I went into the bathroom at Walmart and stood right next to a urinal, and when somebody tried to pee in that urinal, I just lit the, no, you can't pee there, that's my urinal. Like, what if I did that?
I mean, it's a fair point. It's the same thing.
It's ignorant.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's so true though.
And that's about what public land has come to. Out here, it's like a public bathroom. It's a mess.
Well, let's you know, I am in some ways radical, but also analytical. And one thing that I found very interesting is that if you're listening to this podcast, and that you're, you know, we're talking about it's all perspective, right? If your passion is to publicly hunt green timber mallards, all right. Well, you better not do shit until you get on YouTube and watch what is going on at Dave Donaldson and watch that 15-minute video, because here's the thing. Here's what
what green timber is?
Well, here's what I'm sick of, bro. And if you're listening to this and you're one of these people, then I'm going to leave it at that. People complain without understanding facts. All right? Here's what the AGFC did in a nutshell for y'all. They admitted that they screwed up. Bottom line. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They did that. This is in Waterfowl magazine, quote from a very respected individual in AGFC. They said that when they made the changes that they did, it was based with no engineering, no scientific facts. What they were doing is just trying to, I think they were running a business, honestly. They were running a business to get more people to Arkansas. And how do you do that? You bring more ducks in. How do you do that? You change the habitat and do no different than what you would do if you were a private landowner trying to create habitat, right? Well, in the midst of that, what they messed up is what God created, okay? Natural waterways and things. And Tristan and I have a friend of ours. What's the guy down in Louisiana, Tristan, that did that big historical thing about Louisiana?
Phil Robertson.
No.
Phil Robertson.
Our buddy,
Phil Robertson.
He did a big historical fact.
Phil Robertson. Powell.
No. About how all of that waterway has changed over the years.
No, you're talking about
Phil Robertson.
Jared.
Jared Serenay. He's a legit, like, you want to talk about a great YouTube follow.
Oh.
He's just went to, that's his full-time job, but we had him on the podcast about, I don't know, a year ago or whatever, but he talks a lot about that, like how the Army Corps of Engineers like cut these paths and like the marsh down there.
Yeah.
For like, I don't even know why they did it, but now because they mess with like God's creation, basically, that the marsh just keeps getting eroded because of these like cut paths that aren't natural.
It's eliminated hundreds of thousands of waterfowl habitat.
There's something per day that gets eroded that's like
It's
disturbing.
stupid.
I forgot what he said.
But here's where I'm going with all this. AGFC said, hey, we screwed up. To But here's what they've done that I am so impressed with, and I'm going to give them big props. They have spent the money that we spend to go hunt there, okay? Out of state. Williamson Outfitters, located along the beautiful Gulf Coast of Florida, is a premier guide service with lodging that provides incredible coastal duck hunting, gator hunting, fishing, gigging, scalloping, and custom boat tours along Florida's forgotten coast. They are family owned and operated with over 200 years of combined experience hunting and fishing along this incredible stretch of Florida. Captain Chris Williamson runs a first-class operation. On a coastal duck hunt, you have an incredible chance at many rare species of diver ducks and several puddle duck species. Listen up. If you're a veteran or active duty, February 3rd and 4th, Williamson Outfitters will be hosting a very special event. It's called Waterfowl Weekend for Warriors. To show appreciation for our men and women in uniform, the FWC offers a special weekend for veterans and active duty service members to hunt waterfowl in Florida. This opportunity occurs February 3rd through 4th, 2024, when waterfowl hunting is closed to the general public. Remaining dates for waterfowl are booking fast. Call or text Captain Chris right away, 850-251-8650, or you can go to www.floridaducks.com and check available dates for all their services. Residents, call us Hoosiers, doesn't matter. We contribute a giant amount of money to the research and the reservation and habitat of waterfowl. They're taking all those resources and they are doing a really smart thing. They have, and just watch the video, guys, it's 15 minutes. They have got engineering companies that are at the top tier engineering companies that know what the hell they're doing. And they're presenting things in this video that are showing what it was before, how they changed it, and why it needs to change now with limited interruption to what they did before to save money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an incredibly great presentation. AGFC, hats off to you for doing that, but more people need to see the facts to bring down all this gibberish.
Well, I think kind of like to wrap up your point, like people are so quick to like just blah, throw out an opinion, especially on social media where, the right thing can reach a lot of people, even if you're wrong. And,
that's why Snopes became big.
I don't know what that is, but
that's what it's a fact checker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, but really, that's the deal there.
Mm.
I just, but yeah, I mean, it's disturbing to me that we, I'm just not even going to go down that rabbit hole of conservation and all that stuff right now. But getting back to the main topic is that, Kade there in Northeast Arkansas, you guys have been grinding, you guys have been doing the thing. There's been significant weather changes within the last 2 weeks. And I just want to talk about, what you're seeing, boots on the ground, your expectations.
Yeah, what you anticipate.
Yeah, I mean, folks, this guy canceled a week's worth of booked hunts. Not canceled, gave the customers an opportunity to save their money. That I'm not going to disclose the loss that Kade took with doing this, but he did it because it was the right thing to do. And one of them is our relative. Mm-hmm. And that, to me, at the end of the day, is one of the biggest things that I respect about you, Kade, is that you will tell people, don't come.
Some people don't respect it.
No,
that's their loss.
I appreciate that. Honestly, when I first met you and I heard you do that, sometimes I was just like, wow, dude. Didn't you, Tristan? It was just like,
yeah, because there's a lot of people that
are gonna suck your money.
Yep. Now, go into it, man.
It was. I don't want to sit out in that, and if I don't want to sit out in it, I'm not gonna have nobody pay to sit out in it.
Mm-hmm.
And they just, when it gets this cold and everything's froze up, there ain't no ducks around. There's no ducks, there's no geese, there's no nothing because the food's frozen. It's frozen to the ground. The ground's like concrete, and it's no good. So them ducks are going to keep continuing south until they find some open water, or they're going to hunt, or they're going to hang out on the rivers where there's open water and they can, hang out, do duck things. But when that thaw happens, when it happens, that's the very best time to be here. This year has been so up and down. I don't know. I honestly don't know what it's going to come to. I know right before we froze up, we were seeing a lot more ducks, and then it froze up and they were all gone.
Mm-hmm.
We had several really good hunts right there before it froze, and it's hard to say. I don't know how many ducks are south of us. I haven't heard anything from anybody. Right before it thawed, or right before it froze, I didn't see teal. And the last I heard, I haven't seen a teal since first part of December.
Wow.
I can just tell you this is my rule of thumb. If you're seeing some teal, there's ducks around.
Mm-hmm.
There's you gotta, if you see some teal, then you've got a good opportunity at killing a bunch of ducks. Not teal. I'm just talking about all them ducks in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why that is. I don't know why it's like that. But every time I'm killing a bunch of ducks, big ducks, little, whatever it is, every time I'm killing a bunch of ducks, there's teal around. And I have not hardly seen no teal since then.
Wow. That's pretty crazy.
That is crazy because one thing I like about when Kade tells these things is whenever you and I, Tristan, can sit there and go, yep, we live and breathe that. You know what I mean? It's like validation a little bit, but it's so true. It's so true.
Oh, my God.
You good?
Well, bro.
There's a little bit of a hole there.
Now, I'm interested to see.
Oh, my God.
What?
There's another hole.
Are you good?
I don't know. I am on the road to the island to go look and see what the road looks like, and it is frozen.
Oh, shoot.
A little bit. And I guess I was driving on top of the ice just a second ago.
Are you on
I guess is what it was.
Are you on the dirt road, or are you still on the main road?
Yeah, I'm on the dirt road.
There was a couple times when we were up there Thanksgiving weekend, just because like the ruts and the road, not the ruts, but you know, when the road gets those ridges from the rain or whatever, that my back end kind of, and I was going like 25, 30. I wasn't doing anything crazy, but my back end kind of got
you know when you get those big rains and it creates those ridges in the gravel roads? You know, where you're just driving along and all of a sudden you feel like you have a stuttering problem since you were born. You're like,
I wish your viewers could see what I'm doing right now. Like, literally, I'm driving on top of ice, and what I'm feeling when I hit them bumps is I break through it.
Mm.
Dang,
yeah, that's weird.
Oh, there, I broke through it again.
Damn. No, I'm really interested to see how the thaw is for y'all, because just from like the different tracking websites and stuff, it just seems like the ducks, you know, from what they're saying, have gotten here more so than before. So hopefully it just lends to.
I mean, no, you're speaking facts, dude. I have been, if you didn't know, I am careerless right now. So I've had plenty of time to search what's going on. And I'll tell you what I've been intimately following is factual data. And what I mean by that is like the most current reports of actual viewings, flybys, waterfowl surveys, that kind of thing. And there's no doubt about it. Nobody's got a good handle on the estimates yet, but there was another giant push of birds that came from the upper Midwest. And everybody from the Twin Cities up in Illinois, Iowa area, all the way down through Cape Girardeau, Everything I've seen has been huge. Now, where they're at now, nobody knows. But obviously, if it's that damn cold, then they must be a little bit south of there, trying to survive. Well, and I just saw a video tonight. And Tristan, did you see that video I sent you of a retention pond in a HOA community that was getting dive bombed by a bald eagle, and there were over 200 mallards. Props to the guy that took that video. 200 mallards
Really?
in an ice hole. Dude, I mean, it was completely frozen, and it probably was about 40-yard, 50-yard round area. Mm-hmm. And there was, you couldn't have put another duck in there. And they just didn't even get up and fly while they were getting dive bombed. They would just dive underwater for a second when the bald eagle tried to hit them. But it's that cold. It's that cold, and who knows where the ducks are? But we all know
mallards. I've never killed a mallard before.
No, but Colton Hayes knows a little something about something killing mallards, doesn't he?
I know it, right?
Dude, I told Kate, I go, bro, that guy had the biggest stack of mallards.
I got a hole in the middle of the road out here. Somebody can come hunt in the morning, $500 a gun. Only open water in Arkansas.
No, so let's get into what we're looking forward to. So we're looking forward to thaw, obviously, and Cade's going to have his hunters and his guides ready to capitalize on that. Tristan, what we got going on moving forward for Zero Duck 30?
Yeah, so thankfully we're gonna, be able to get some hunting in before the end of the year here, and also get to do the veteran hunt out at Cade's. But yeah, we're heading out there for the last weekend of the season, and then we'll be right back for the following weekend.
Talk about that last weekend, because I know it's very special to you. You have your best men. Your best men.
Yeah. Now I'm excited, and I'm thankful for you, Cade, to have the opportunity to hunt there and stuff. And my buddy Travis he grew up duck hunting and hasn't hunted in probably 12, 15 years. His first duck was actually a canvasback, which was kind of funny.
Drake.
But, yeah, which not many people you hear that from, or however many years it's been since he's hunted. He hadn't hunted in a long time.
Him and his dad were passionately into waterfowl hunting.
Yeah, and they just haven't done it in years, got burned out or whatever. And then my buddy Devin is...
Are they all coming?
Last weekend of the season. But...
Oh, the 9th season, and then y'all are coming on the vet hunt.
Yep. But... And then my buddy Devin, he's never even duck hunted before, so he only got into deer hunting about 5 years ago. So
he's already a duck call legend off of your. I mean, the very first time he ever touched a duck call was Travis's duck call, and that's one of our biggest YouTube shorts in history. Yeah. What is it up to?
I don't even know, but I posted this video of him screwing around on a duck call, and
he really innocently had no idea.
No, and he's just messing around on it, and it's hilarious. But the funny thing to me in the video,
I'm pulled up right now.
The funny thing to me about it is my buddy Devin, and I'm not even trying not being gay here, but he's a good looking dude.
There's nothing wrong with being gay, by the way.
All the comments in this video are like, "What's this dude's number?" Can we? These women just came out of the woodwork, trying, and it wasn't even anything about the duck call.
Was that his passion behind performance?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe it was,
but I think that's why I got so many views.
Morgan, you better watch out. This dude's viral. Oh my God, dude! We're gonna pull it up right now. We're gonna watch it right now. No, but he's hit the duck call, and we're super excited. Yeah. I mean, I know Tristan, you're super excited. Drew and I are gonna go out there a day before. I'm gonna put the duck trip on my credit card, and we're gonna make it happen because I just can't miss this. And we're gonna go out there and hunt with y'all, Cade, and we're super excited about it. I mean, like I was telling Cade on the phone the other day, dude. Yeah, man. I mean, as a sportsman, I'm ready to shoot some ducks, right? Mm-hmm. As a running this business, I'm ready to film some hunts, but at the same time, I'm also ready to get back to what I consider my second home.
Yeah.
In the fall.
As a duck guide, I'm ready to have some people here so it can pay for my living over the months.
Man, it's kind of wild to think about that we haven't been out there since Thanksgiving weekend because Like just the last two years, it's we've been out there a lot.
It's I'll just put it to you this way: since you guys left, it hasn't been good, but it hasn't been bad.
Right.
It was not that first year that you guys come out here, not nowhere near. That was what, 1920 or 2021?
Yeah.
Whatever that was.
Yep.
That was the worst year ever in the history. I hope I never have a year. I beat that year in the first week of season already. But still, even after that, we've shot a fair number of ducks. Are we going to beat what we shot last year? Probably not. We're probably not going to beat 1,400 and whatever it was. But it is what it is. That's the way nature works.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be the same every year. And I don't understand why people think that way. Everybody wants January dates. Everybody wants December, January dates. Nobody cares about November. November, we smacked them.
Well,
Didn't have nobody. The first 4 days, we were smacking them.
Well, that's like...
And now here it is, January, middle of January, and it's just froze up. There's no ducks around. This is how January usually is, but not this long.
Right.
Usually you have some freeze days, but they're not 10 days long. They're 2 or 3 days long.
Right. No, yeah, I mean, and you just never really know. I mean, up until, the time that you and Colton and my dad had Thanksgiving weekend last year, like, because we had gone opening weekend the year before, and then our other opening weekends, like anywhere else we duck hunted, we just never had a lot of success duck hunting ever opening weekend. And then this year, back-to-back weekends.
Be honest about it. I mean, you were like...
I just said ever. What are you talking about?
What do you mean? I know, but
how more honest can I be?
we had gotten to the point, honestly, Tristan, together, we gotten to the point where we were like, dude, we're so unlucky during the first split that maybe we'll just hunt the second split.
Yeah, no, anyway, so that's kind of was like, opening weekend, at least, no matter where we was like bad luck. But then, like you said, Kade, November this year was it was good.
Oh, yeah. It was great, man. So outside of duck season, we go into that. We got a very special thing. Kade has been nice enough to host, just from our network of people that we're trying to help. We've got 11 veterans that Kade's been nice enough to let us come out and hunt for free. Thank you so much for donating that to those folks. And then we're going to do some snow goose hunting. And so what's the prospect on the snow goose hunting? Where's the forward thinking on that, Kade?
What, on snow geese?
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say it looks great.
Yeah.
Or it looks bad, but I am gonna say I've seen more geese. Period. More geese this year than I have seen probably ever, maybe ever.
He said that the first split.
When I was a kid, dude, like, you don't get it. And it makes me sick thinking about it, because I never hunted. I didn't start hunting snow geese until I was about 17, 18 years old. And back then, though, before I started hunting.
Do you want coffee that doesn't suck? Get the Duck. Dirty Duck coffee is made specifically for the waterfowl enthusiast. Enjoy flavors like Morning Wood, Dark Dynasty, Cinnamon Teal Snickerdoodle, and First Flight to unlock the flavor that you'll enjoy in the blind for years to come. Our friends at Dirty Duck Coffee Company are now offering all Zero Duck 30 followers a 15% discount when you use code ZeroDuck15 on your next order.
Them over decoys.
Mm-hmm.
They were everywhere. They're everywhere. If I got in a truck and drove 10 minutes from my house, I was going to see a minimum of 5 feeds on the ground that were 50,000+ bird feeds.
What? Wow.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that's how it was. Nobody hunted them. Nobody cared. You could go anywhere you wanted. You just could pull up. So this is before Onyx and Huntwise and all these apps that come out. What you did. I had a buddy of mine. I'm not gonna say his name, but his dad worked for an oil company, and he sold oil and diesel to all the farmers around there.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd call him and be like, all right, we're on the side of this highway. It's the field that looks like this. He'd be like, oh, yeah, that's so-and-so. All right, you care to send me his number? Yep, he had every farmer's number.
Wow.
And if we couldn't find his number, he'd tell us where he lived. And we'd go up to their house. Hey, man, you got some snow geese out here in this field. We just want to shoot them up real quick. We want to jump shoot them. I don't want no duck hunters back there. No, sir. I don't want to hunt your ducks. You got some snow geese out there that I want to shoot. Oh, you talking about them white geese? Yeah. I just want to shoot them white geese. We just want to sneak down the ditch, jump, shoot them, and go. Oh, well, and he'd be like, oh, yeah, go out there. Anytime you see him out there, just go hunt them. Go shoot them. That's how it was. That's how it was. We killed truckloads of them geese. Truckloads of them all through high school. And then I started hunting them. The first 2 years that I hunted them over decoys, same deal. You go to farm. Hey, man, you got some geese out here. They're tearing up your wheat field. Well, go shoot them. The very best thing ever, though, I want to say this on this podcast. The very best permission I ever got. There was this guy that had like 100 acres behind his house. And it was a trailer. And it was just run down cars, tools laying everywhere, just scary looking. One of them places where you're like, nope, if you were a Girl Scout, you'd be avoiding going to.
You're like, nah.
Old man Jenkins, whatever. But so I pull up, a buddy of mine that was hunting with me. He's sitting in the passenger seat. We've been taking turns just going around knocking on doors, asking permission.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to set up. We were running the geese off. Like if the field wasn't a good hide, like if we couldn't hide real good and lay out blinds or whatever it was, or laying lights or whatever it was, if the geese were just sitting somewhere where it was hard to get to and it wasn't easy to set up, because back then I didn't have a four-wheeler, I didn't have a side-by-side, didn't have nothing.
Right.
We literally threw everything on the top of these sleds that I had that were actually dumpster lids. And you'd walk everything out there because you couldn't rut this guy's stuff up. You had to walk everything out. So even the clients I had, you had to walk everything out. Not that you just tell them, put your gun, bags, everything on this sled right here, or pull it out. All right. And you just sled everything out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but the best permission I ever got, these geese were on this wheat field. It was like 100 acres, and there was a bunch of them. Rolled up there to the house, and I looked at my buddy. He looked at me. He goes, and I'd asked permission before. And he looked at me. He goes, I do not want to ask permission here. I was like, come on. I'm like, you see all them geese? This will be an easy hunt tomorrow. I'm like, come on, ask. He's like, I don't want to. I was like, all right, I'll tell you what. I'll go up there and ask. But at my funeral, you tell everybody it was your turn to ask. And he was like, all right, bet. So I got out of the truck, opened the door, put my foot on the running board and looked up. Dude standing on the porch in nothing but a white wife beater and white tidy whities. And lace up, like Carhartt lace up boots. And he walked out there on the porch. He said, yeah, go kill them. Kill every one of them. I said, okay. Got back, sat down, closed the truck door, looked at him. He goes, I guess I got to ask permission twice next time, huh? I said, yeah. We hunted that neck. I mean, didn't even hit the ground. I was standing on the running board of my truck, opened the door, and I looked. He's standing on the porch. And he just yelled from the porch. He said, yeah, kill every one of them. Run them all off. Kill all of them. And I said, I just put my thumb up, and I said, thank you. Got back in the truck, closed the door. We went and hunted the next morning. Murdered them. Killed like 270-something geese.
Oh, my God. Is that the one? Is that the, you were saying something about an awesome hunt like that when it was real foggy? Was that the same one?
No. Best snow goose hunt I ever had, we killed 411.
Oh, my God.
Goodness gracious.
That must have been the one
What was
you were
that
talking
like?
about then.
Tell us about the hunt. I want to hear about it.
It was.
Was there
Now,
tornadoes?
I put. Every time.
Oh my God.
Every time, but you gotta put yourself in this perspective. It is not the same now. Them snow geese there's a bunch of more people hunting them. Back then, when I first started hunting them, there was me and 3 other dudes hunting in this whole part of the state. You
Wow.
couldn't go up here to D&W and buy snow goose decoys. You couldn't go to Max Prairie Wings and buy snow goose socks like you can now.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't do it. Well, so I had my spread, and I'm not even going to get into that story, how I got my spread, but I had to drive a long way to buy it because you couldn't buy decoys around here, and nobody else was hunting around here. So just put yourself in that perspective. It was like hunting on a wildlife refuge.
Uh-huh.
And like it was just, I don't know, it was Valentine's Day 2017 or 18. I had some guys. I was selling hunts. This was before Delta Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
And it was before I started my own outfit. I was still guiding for my stepdad, and I guided snow goose hunts. That first year, I guided snow goose hunts just to put some money in my pocket. Really, I guided snow goose hunts to be able to go hunt them because it just cost a lot of money. You know, you burn a lot of fuel riding around scouting and everything like that.
Sure.
So I was like $100 a gun a day. I was like $100 a gun a day. I had an ad on Craigslist. I had these guys from somewhere. I don't remember, but there was 4 of them. And but a friend of mine's dad called me, and he goes, "Hey," or my friend called me. He goes, "Hey," he said, "Do you hunt them snow geese?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, come over here to our duck lodge." He's like, "We got a bunch of them over here on a wheat field, and my dad don't want them to eat up our wheat." And I was like, "Okay." And it was just kind of, it had been kind of dead for a couple days right there in the middle of February. You don't ever know when, but it'll be sometime in the middle of February. There's usually like 2 or 3 days where it just goes dead, and you just don't see any geese. And it's get back. You just don't see any geese for whatever
Are you talking
reason.
to Morgan or Tucker?
I'm talking to Tucker.
I was just making sure. I'm just.
He's trying to climb up over the console of my truck. Anyway, so we'd kind of been in that slump right there, you know, and it was my first year really snow goose hunting, you know, having my own spread and all. And, but we, you know, I was kind of like stressing out because we hadn't been killing many in a couple of days, and I had these guys coming in. He calls me, he goes, "Hey," he's like, "I got this wheat field, come shoot them off this wheat field." So I get over there, and it's 80 acres. They own 2 fields. It's a wheat field, and then right behind it, there's a rice field that's got a duck pit in, and this trailer house is on the edge of this wheat field is like what they call their duck camp. And they got 1 pit, and they lease it to some dudes, but they don't goose hunt. Well, so I pull up there, and there's just thousands of geese fall. Like you could see them way before we come up there. And I pulled up and pulled into their camp. And they're just like 100 yards right behind that trailer. And I pulled in there and I talked to him. And he was like, well, you going to shoot them? I said, can we wait till tomorrow morning? He was like, well, I've been shooting them off with a rifle all day. Back then, you can shoot them with a rifle if they're, on your weight, but you can't pick them up. He's like, I shoot them. He's like, I'm just trying to get them off my weight. He's like, I shoot them, and they just keep coming back. Can't get rid of them. I was like, well, I said, we'll go in there and we'll go in there in the morning. And I said, I'll run them off for good. He said, all right. Well, that next day was Valentine's Day. We got in there, set my spread up. I had 10 or 11 guys. I can't remember. 9, 10, 11 guys. We set up, and I was telling them guys that I had, I was like, we got, I ain't got a lot of wind, so the socks aren't moving a lot. We're hunting over all socks. And I was like, we ain't got a lot of wind, so just, just when they come in, be real still. And I said, I've never hunted geese in a fog like this. Is a real heavy fog. At first, you couldn't see from one side of the spread to the other at first. And then later, it kind of picked up where you could see a little bit further, but not much. And I'm just trying to paint you a good mental picture.
Yeah.
Well, we were laying there in the spread, and I told him, I was like, look, and these geese are not like ducks. When the sun gets up, that's when they start flying. They won't fly right at light like ducks do, They will sometimes, but very rarely. We're sitting there, and it gets a little bit, and it was overcasty and foggy, We get up, and we're sitting there, and like I said, you couldn't see in the distance. And usually you can sit there if you're on a good feed like that and they roost, anywhere within a mile of you, you can see them get up and all right, they're getting up and they're probably going to come your way. So you just lay back down, I was like, y'all just lay down here. We sitting there and, but we were sitting there, I had my e-collar running on real low, just a couple geese calling on the e-collar, and we're sitting there and one goose comes through the fog. He'd come through the fog and then he'd circle and then he'd disappear. Then he'd come back through the fog and it was on my end. I was on the left side. And then one of them paid guys, he goes, shoot that goose next time he comes around there. He's just going to come in shooting range on your side every time. I was like, all right. So I just pulled my gun up and I waited for him to come through the fog. And right when he came through the fog, I boom, folded him. And I always joke about it. Every single time that we shoot a bunch of geese, we always start with a single. Every time. Every time. If you're going to kill more than 30, you're going to start with a single.
Wow.
And I don't know if it's just me or what, but you start with a single every time.
Yeah.
So, we're sitting there, we're laughing, and
it's in the teens that morning, and maybe you're chasing ducks or geese. But now it's September and it's 85 degrees and you're hunting early teal or geese. As a waterfowler, you need dependable weather protection that will not break the bank. Founded in 1996, Frog Togs is not only the leader in breathable wader technology, but a company you can depend on to keep you warm and dry, head to toe, no matter your hunting environment. Stay bone dry by using discount code ZD315 for 15% off not only your first purchase, like most discount codes, but how about every single purchase you make from now until December 31st, 2024?
Everybody's saying, yeah, you got the scout goose, Well, then you heard them get up in the distance. And I was like, I turned the e-collar off. I said, y'all hear that? And I can hear some geese getting up. And I still this day don't know where they got up from. And there's woods right in front of us. And we could just barely see the woods, that was in front of us. And they were like, they're on the other side of them woods right there. And you could just barely hear them getting up, just thousands of geese. You could just barely hear them. It just sounded like a whisper. And then he was like, we just kind of sat there, and a minute later, they kind of got louder. And then they kind of got louder. I said, they're coming towards us. I said, y'all lay down. And I cranked that e-collar. Mine goes up to 7. I had it on about 3. and they just thousands of, like a wall of them came through the fog, and they coming in throwing their wings around like they do and everything like that. They spun one time, and I said, y'all get ready right here on this pass, and we just lit into them on that pass. I mean, lit them up, killed a bunch. I don't know,
Like probably didn't even affect the tornado. I mean, it seems like to me when I've seen it like so crazy like that, it's like the geese don't even realize what's happening.
Well, we just boom, 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 shot into them. They all flew off, you know, and we're sitting there, and my buddy at the time, he's passed away now, but he gets up and he goes, hold on. He said, we got to count how many we killed out of that. We got to count how many we killed out of those. And I said, all right. So he's picking them up and counting them. And then he had his dog, send the dog out there and everything. And then a little while later, he goes, hold on, I can hear some more coming. And we just threw them all over the pile on his side. And then we just lit into them again. But that first pile, he counted 74 geese in that first pile.
Goodness.
Oh my God.
And how many shooters?
There was 10 or 11 of us. I can't remember.
That's incredible.
But anyway, we had it happen again about, I don't know, a little bit later, about a half hour later, they come back in just like that. We wrecked into them. And then the fog lifted. When that fog lifted, it got so crazy. We would you just shoot into them. A whole bunch of them they'd fall right in front of you. The ones that were with it would flare, but the ones way back behind them just kept coming.
Oh my God.
You just unload an extended tube into them. And back then I was just shooting an extended tube that held 7, because that was the only thing you could buy at D&W, the sporting goods store we had here in town. I got a real nice one now. That holds 13, but back then
your shit looks like something off of freaking Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. I mean, it really does.
Yeah,
it does. It looks like a snow fighting weapon.
Yeah.
Well, it is. Yeah, I don't know how many volleys we shot into, but eventually I remember I had 2 shells left. I had 2 shots left. And I put them in my gun, whatever. We had a pretty decent sized group, about 50 or so, come in there, and we killed a bunch out of it. And I was like, all right. I'm officially out of shells. And then the other 2 guys that sitting beside me said, we've been out of shells. I was like, oh, this ain't no good. But we started picking up everything, and we had a couple of groups work us while we were picking up everything. And we probably could have killed a few more, but we ended up picking up that day. We had 411 geese.
Goodness gracious. That's just crazy to me.
I did have a day we killed 500, but I don't really count it as my best day, because we killed like 360 of them over decoys.
Mm-hmm.
And then they lit in the field next to us, and it was on a tree. There was a tree line in between us and the field that they lit in. And the guy I was hunting with goes, hey, he's like, can we sneak over and shoot some? And I said, yeah, sure. That's fine. So we snuck over there and shot a bunch on the ground, and they just kept picking them up. And we had 499 is what we picked up, however many that is. God. And then we sat there until we killed one more. And, we sat there until we killed one more, and then we ended up with 500. And the guys that I had then, I don't remember where they were from, but I think I want to say they were from Georgia, but they were like, yep, we're happy. Said we got an even 500. And they didn't even hunt the next day. We had a good field that we set up on the next day and killed like 90 on it. But
which is an incredible hunt.
Huh. It was an incredible season. It was. And the next year, there was a lot of things that changed. All these outfitters around here had snow goose spreads. Like a ton of people were hunting them. There was a spread in every field. It was incredible. You could drive down the highway here. I remember way back when we was in high school, every once in a while, we drove around every day shooting geese and coyotes and just stuff like that. But every once in a while you might see a snow goose spread set up somewhere. But that year, that next year, after that year, I wasn't keeping up with my numbers back then, but I wish I would have, because we killed a bunch of them.
Wow.
A bunch of them.
Well, man,
Next year,
and
the next year, everybody and their brother had a snow goose spread, and it hadn't been the same since. Now we still have some good hunts, but nothing compared to that very first year that I guided snow geese. Killed all them big numbers like that, and I was like, "Wow, this is great." I mean, I'm gonna make really
Easy
good
peasy
money doing this. And then the next year, just everybody and their brother was hunting them, and it changed the whole game. And it was also a year the juvie hatch was really bad, and nobody was killing just great numbers of geese, including me.
Nobody
was.
Let's just touch on that real quick. So, being the social media peruser that I am, one thing that I've seen from the very beginning, and thank you for having me follow that snow goose migration 2.0, because that really keeps me intact with what's going on with the migration. If you just really kind of follow it, there were people in the Dakotas and north of there. One guy I specifically saw, he drove for over a quarter of a mile, and the amount of juvies that I saw would equivalent to maybe the biggest group of snow geese I've seen flying in Arkansas. It was stupid, the amount of juvies. Is that what you've consistently seen, is that there's been a big hatch this year?
There's a lot bigger hatch. I've been told by buddies of mine in Missouri and stuff like that they hadn't even made it here yet. And I don't know how many more can make it here. I don't know where we're going to have room for them.
Jeez.
That's a good problem to have.
No, but like on a serious point, I don't know if it's more geese than I've ever seen, because we used to see them just everywhere when I was a kid. Nobody hunted them.
Yeah.
But there are, since I've started hunting them, there's more than I've seen ever since I've started hunting them.
Well, we can lead forward that.
It should be a good year. Last year there was a ton of geese last year, and then it warmed up and they went right past us, like right when I don't understand how they did it, but there was people killing them in bizarre places in Mississippi and Louisiana and Tennessee that they don't usually kill them. Kentucky, like it was like they shifted to the east when they were coming back up, and we killed them good. It just like I normally, that first week in March, that first 10 days in March are usually the magical days of the year. We usually, now you're not going to see many geese, but the ones you see, they decoy. They come right in. But that's the thing. Last year, it was like February 25th, and that was it. There just wasn't hardly no geese around there. We started canceling people right there at the end. I was like, don't come. But I don't know why, but it's always kind of died off around here around the 15th to 20th of March. That's why I only guided to the 10th of March. I try to play it safe, but last year we could have just guided to the middle of the last week of February and been good. But and I thought it was going to pick back up, but it never did. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen again this year.
Yep.
With the amount of geese that are here, there was a bunch last year. There's even more this year, but I'm hoping they don't do what they did last year this year.
Mm-hmm.
Right on, brother.
Is what I'm saying.
Well, man, ain't gonna be long. We're gonna be there getting on your nerves, and I can't. Or at least I will be. And I can't wait to get out there and kick your ass and smack your ass with a belt, and teach you how to be teach you how to be a good young man. No, I'm just kidding.
Bring it on. It'll be just like sitting around my house.
Yeah. It'll be just like working for Morgan.
Pretty much.
All right, buddy.
All right, man.
We really appreciate you keeping up with us tonight, and we look forward to getting out there and having some stories to tell.
Right on.
All right, brother.
That'll work.
Have a good night.
I'll see you over now.
I've been southbound,
All right, man, bye.
I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.